right, we are on the draw in match 2 of this league with Rug Delver. This is a pretty easy mulligan. We're going to join the opponent in going to 6. And that one's actually a little easier. At least the first one had a traverse. Basic force, we still can't cast anything. This is effectively not a land. I think we're going to 4 here. That's way better than all the other hands we had. We're going to knock on wood. We basically forfeited, but Tarmogoyf, okay. Okay, we have a game plan. This is good. Draw Tarmogoyf, fetch, breeding pool, cast traverse. What do we got, opponent? Thoughtseize, joke's on you, my hand's already garbage. Now we don't even have to cast that traverse. I assume they're taking Echoing Truth? No, they're scared of the traverse. Look at that. Flooded Strand, gonna get a breeding pool tapped. Hopefully they don't have more hand disruption. Oh, they don't have a land? No, they do have a land. Okay, they click through their first main phase. This could be 8-rack. It could be GBX. Black-red 8-rack. Maybe Jund. Maybe a black-red mid-range deck. Hollow One. Hollow One doesn't main deck Thoughtseize. Did Hollow One start main decking Thoughtseize suddenly? Brutality's fine. Let's go. We're playing the mid-range game. Goyf's a 3-4. That's A-okay. We got this. Thought Scour. It's a nice play for next turn. Alright, so we need our opponent to not have removal. In a black-red deck. Faithless Looting. Oh, it's Mardu Pyromancer. I'm stupid for not thinking of that earlier. Then again, I haven't played against it that much, especially not recently. They discarded Peasy and Bolt. That's interesting. Bolt of our own. We could scour ahead of time. That's probably worth it. We might find a land. We might grow Goyf. Who knows what happens when you thought scour main phase. All sorts of exciting things. Fatal Push. Let's not counter that. Oh, really? Really? And there's the Steam Vents. Although, to be fair, if we drew the Steam Vents, we wouldn't have drawn the Goyf, but I'm allowed to be annoyed. That is an unfortunate chain of events. Alright, the opponent knows we're splashing red in our blue-green Goyf deck. Yeah, you know what? This doesn't look like Delver yet. What do we got? Bedlam Reveler. Okay. Can't stop that. They give up a Brutality. They find 3 brand new cards. One of which is a Plains. Mana Leak. Well, we're not going to hold that up. Try not to have removal, Mardu opponent. Does Mardu Pyromancer main deck Path? I don't think there's really a reason not to. Peasy, sure. That's okay. That is okay. Now we have Mana Leak up. Get ready for this turn of events. Lightning Bolt to the Dome. To the Dome. That's acceptable. The token's really the most annoying part of this. I probably would be happy taking 6 damage if it meant they didn't get that token. Yeah. And Mardu's pretty good at finding spells. They're probably going to have an endless chain of chump blockers because we don't have a land for that lightning bolt. Ah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so they didn't have Xaxes at least. We can tap them out. You know what? I'm going to tap them out. That's probably a worthy use of Mana Leak. We still don't have good attacks because they can double block with Revelers. If we draw a red source, we can theoretically take out both of them in that exchange. Echoing Truth's already gone, so we can't bounce one, deal with the other. Not that bouncing Bedlam Reveler is usually a good idea. They accepted that exchange? What reason do they have to accept that exchange? Is Mana Leak bugged? Denial used to be bugged in that once you let it start to resolve, you couldn't crack fetches to get mana to pay for it. Wow, speak of the devil, he shall appear. I don't see why they wouldn't crack that fetch, take some damage, and pay for that leak. That seems bonkers. Now if they don't find another Reveler, we can counter whatever spell this is. Faithless Looting. I kind of want to let that be. Yeah, we're going to let that be. They still only get one spell this turn, and we can counter any removal spell they have here. So I think this is a-okay, just in case they had something like a push, and they wanted to see if they could find something better. They discarded a Lingering Soul, so maybe that was a massive mistake on my part. We probably just counter that. We're going to take 5 here, but we're still winning the race? Probably. They're out of lootings, so that's good. Let's take 5. It's a 5-6 battle. I don't know why they didn't counter that, or didn't pay for the counter. They had to have misclicked or otherwise something unfortunate happened. Let's play this Bauble. They could have hand disruption. We're not drawing a land that we could play. We could theoretically draw into a counter spell. That's a decent reason to crack this Bauble now. It's not going to grow the Tarmogoyf. What counter spells do I want to draw into? Mana Leak's not really doing anything here. Another Denial would be nice. Let's take a look at what they're going to draw. It's a land. Okay. In for 5. You know what? If they crack 2 more fetches or play a shock, Goyf becomes the clock we needed. We probably flash in Snapcaster Mage here. Actually, now that I see that they have 7 life left over, we have a 5-6, and this is a 2-1 with flash. It seems pretty clear that we should be flashing in that Snapcaster Mage. Kolaghan's Command. Get back Bedlam Reveler. Make us discard a card? That is an interesting conundrum right there. Oh, they can't cast Reveler. They only had the 1 red source. They could use that Flooded Marsh Flats, though, to get a red source. This is interesting. Okay. If we discard Lightning Bolt, we're giving up on drawing a red source. But if we draw a red source, Bolt to the face, this game's over much more cleanly. If we discard Snapcaster Mage, we lose our 2-1, which is not seeming like a good idea because I want the extra threat. Bedlam Reveler has a pretty good chance of drawing them into a Fatal Push, which they can cast off of this swamp. They're going to have to pay shock for this, which means they fetch, they shock, they go down to 3. This resolves, yeah, that's fine. It's basically, do we discard Bolt, Snap, or Visions here? Visions helps us find the land for Bolt or another Goyf, but I think we're at the point of the game where we're not really even looking for a Goyf, we just want to finish them off. So I think the burn spell is better. If the opponent finds a Fatal Push, I'm going to wish I discarded the Snapcaster Mage, because Snapcaster Mage without a Goyf in play is doing a lot of nothing. The only way this gets in is if they need to block this. So I feel like it's Snap or Visions. I kind of want to discard Snapcaster Mage, because I think they have a pretty good chance of finding a removal spell for our Tarmogoyf. Once they're going to swing here, and then they're going to go fetch Shock Reveler. I feel like this Goyf is not long for this world, so Snapcaster Mage probably isn't worth that much to us. Get rid of this. Opponent goes down to 4. They're going to have black mana up. This is big. They just drew 3 cards. You know what? They should have done that beforehand. If they found a Fatal Push, we would have taken 1 more damage. What do we have? Stubborn Denial. That is fantastic. Let's Visions. Tarfire on top. And we get to play this little guy right here. Okay. If we swing, they have to block, which means we're definitely attacking because we're not holding back Tarmogoyf to block if it's just going to take out a Reveler by attacking. That's silly. So we get in there. They block. The opponent is also playing a lightning bolt deck, so hopefully we'll be able to counter a bolt. They didn't have the push there, which means we didn't need to use this to keep Goyf alive. Obviously, you want to keep Goyf alive with your denial. Thoughtseize. Bolt opponent, game over. That's what I'm smelling here. Do you have 2 bolt effects, opponent? Actually, we can counter one of them. Do you have 3 bolt effects, opponent? Make me discard my denial. Nice. That was such a fun game. Jeez. That was amazing. That was like a roller coaster of decisions. I like Mardu Pyromancer. That's a fun deck to play against. Even if it is a pretty good deck against us. Do I have Mardu Pyromancer as a deck I'm prepared to sideboard against? I should. I do. Apparently, we don't do much. Pyroclasm for the tokens. They have a lot of tokens. Probably EE as well. EE as well. Basilisk Collar. Yes, EE Basilisk Collar. Basilisk Collar actually can do a lot of work against this deck. Not so much the Death Touch mode. We also want 2 Huntmasters. But the lifelink mode makes it very difficult for the opponent to close games with their tokens. Because if you think about the opponent having 4 to 6 spirit tokens, if you're gaining 4 or 5 life a turn, that's not a very good clock. Throw it on something like a Mandrills, and it's just gonna eat tokens. They're gonna have to trade everything. Which, to be fair, they can do, but if we clear away the tokens, we should be good. I have had one game. I'm pretty sure I took a screenshot of it, actually, because it was spectacular, and it was in the tournament practice room, so I was not recording. We're going to sideboard out Thought Scours, because there's a lot of interacting going on in this matchup, and a Roast and a Dismember, because they only hit Reveler, which, well, once Reveler can be targeted by a removal spell, that's not as good as you'd hope. It's possible we should be boarding out Denials because this is an attrition matchup with Hand Disruption, but I don't think... Do they run as much Hand Disruption as Jund-style decks? I think they're mostly focused on removal, which Denial's not that bad against. Then again, once they kill the threat, if we draw Denial, it's quite bad. I could see keeping more Scours and boarding out some of these. Let's submit. But yeah, Basilisk Collar on a big Tarmogoyf gains you crazy amounts of life. Basilisk Collar on a Hooting Mandrills laughs at Bedlam Reveler and dares them to block. This hand is serviceable because Traverse gets us our second land, but we have a bunch of removal spells against an attrition deck. Then again, mulliganing isn't great either. We can deal with their main threat, so I'm actually going to keep this. I don't think this is a good hand, but I think it's better than the 6 that we're going to get. And once you put Basilisk Collar on a Huntmaster of the Fells, it's just brutal. They took Snapcaster Mage, which is fair. We found Mountain, which means we don't necessarily need to use this, but we probably will anyways. The opponent could have Blood Moon, but it's not super likely. We probably get Breeding Pool and Island. Then again, Stomping Ground Island is actually kind of enticing. Let's do that. Also hides the fact that we drew a basic mountain for the turn. Because they know everything but that. And, well, if we didn't draw a land, we're definitely going to want to get that island. Second Inquisition makes that pretty much non-relevant. Irrelevant is the way you word that. Non-relevant. They're going to loot. Discard 2 Bedlam Revelers while someone's hand was clogged. Let's cast Serum Visions. Mandrills is castable. I just want Mandrills. I'm not going to lie. We just played a land. We do have a Bolt up. Then again, they know about quite a few Lightning Bolt effects. PZ is handled. Let's just put it that way. 3 Pyromancers later, they can start sticking a token generator. Okay. That's going to gain them 2, and we're going to take 2. But that's going to eat a lightning bolt immediately. I'm not going to let this stick around because it'll slowly gain them life and deal us some damage. Well, I guess it doesn't strictly deal us damage, but it's going to cause us to lose life. They know about this mountain, so we're going to play it. We probably don't need to keep a bolt effect up. I'd rather have a decent graveyard, I think. Let's see. Lightning bolt can go. Snapcaster Mage can go. No one has a land yet. Sorcery, they have looting. We have Pyroclasm, so that can go. We could also get rid of Visions. Now, do we tap that mountain and give up our bolt effect, or do we delve that land? We're pretty likely to find a land. So's the opponent. Delirium's the only reason we care that we have one and they don't. And we only have 1 traverse left, so I think this is just fine. Getting to hold up Spell Snare is a nice little treat, given that Mandrills is most afraid of Terminate here. And, well, Terminate has a CMC of 2, and Spell Snare counters spells that have a CMC of 2. It's like a match made in heaven. If we had the option of waiting for the denial, I probably would have gone for that, but I don't really want that we can't deal with. That's a good reason to discard Bedlam Revelers. I was not aware of that synergy. Let's discard Tarfire. One, two, three, 4 instants and sorceries in their graveyard. We're going to hold on to Lightning Bolt for now. We don't need the mana just yet. Ooh, Thought Scour. Let's save that for the end step. Although that does open us up to a Terminate. We're going to hope they don't have the Terminate. A lot of red sources for the opponent this game. Anguished Unmaking. Well, they're going to lose 3 life. We cannot scour into a counter. Good night, sweet prince. Jeez, I was not playing around that. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, we could play that with haste soon. Ask and you shall receive, my friends. Every bit of damage counts. Let's get in there. That was incredibly fortunate. Anything but a basic... Any land except for Basic Island would have gotten us there. But you know what? We got there. Inquisition. That's probably taking Lightning Bolt. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm taking. Bedlam Reveler, I assume. Now, they just played that Swamp, right? They played Swamp, and that was the start of their turn, which means they're not going to go land Terminate. Which means they're probably holding on to something to help Bedlam Reveler deal with Nux. We're going to swing anyways, because we can always grow it and just eat the Reveler. Yep. If they have a Bolt effect, they're going to go for it here, so we can't just eat Reveler. There's the Bolt. Goes at Nux. Alright, how do we want to play this? I kind of want to save Knuckleblade. I think saving Knuckleblade is worth it. We can save Knuckleblade or trade it with Reveler. We save Knuckleblade by using the blue ability, and we trade with Reveler with the green. I think Knuckleblade is more valuable than Reveler at this point, though, because they know that we can play it with haste. That seems to be a big deal. They're probably not going to attack with this once we bounce. We're going to leave up red and blue so we can snare if need be or just bolt face. Now, they don't know about that lightning bolt, so they might just swing in and leave themselves open, but I don't think that's very likely. They probably only attack if they have a follow-up play, something like a Pyromancer or another Reveler. Pyromancer, we're probably willing to counter at this point because I really want that Bolt to go face. The way they tapped suggests that there isn't a Reveler to come back in. Spellbomb is fine at this point. They found the land. That's good for them. They still might have something again. That swings. That's dangerous. They know we have a lightning bolt. But maybe they have a lightning bolt. But then again, we kind of just found the land we needed again. So them having a lightning bolt isn't super relevant. The Savage Knuckleblade plays. We have another Steam Vents, right? Did not get turned over this game. That was last game. That means there are red sources for days. Oh, they don't know about this bolt, do they? Did they just see it? I don't think they did. Which makes sense as to why they would consider leaving themselves open to that. Bolt, you. That was fantastic. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope to see you in the next one.